Sway in the morning, Shade 4-5. Man, oh man. I see our next guest. I see myself, Elder B.
I know it.
I see King Tech. I see my brother Aoki. I see my brother T. Calloway. I see my cousin Chuck Brooks. You know, because what these guys brought to the forefront in the game when we were coming up, we were all young men, we were all teenagers, and really learning about this culture and with hip hop. We didn't even know the potential that hip hop had.
Right.
We didn't even know what it could bring us, what we could bring to it. We just, for us, thought it was a way of a way out, so to speak, or a way up. Is how we saw it. And we were fighting a lot in in today's society, and we were fighting with our identity in many ways because the information we were being indoctrinated with was just false and wasn't informative enough. And we were looking for a lot of motivation for self-confidence. And when these guys came out and we was listening to the messaging and their lyrics and some of the themes that they had in their music, it really empowered us to really embrace who we are. We've seen a lot of that now today where people are embracing who they are. They're embracing their blackness. They're embracing their history. They're doing deeper dives and where that history came from. These dudes never put women anywhere else other than on a pedestal. The way they represented women, the way they talked about women, especially black women. They had a song called Black Woman on their second album. When they came out with Black is Black is Black is Black, it was like an anthem for us. It was a theme song. In fact, I think that was the first time I personally ever heard Q-Tip on the song.
And I'm here tonight with the Jungle Brothers, and we're about to get into this thing called Black is Black is Black is Black is Hair.
Let that rock a little bit.
Yeah. Black is Black is Black is Black. In America today, I have to regret to say something is not right, and it deals with black and white. Tell me, my G, is it me? It's just society filled with propaganda, huh? Why do we meander, huh?
Come on, man. You could play that same song today and it would be applicable to everything we're experiencing today. The one song that King Tech used to have, this black Scirocco, was a 1986 Scirocco, Volkswagen Scirocco. And we used to be in Northern California. This is probably about 1988, I think it was. And we were listening to music. We were making music at the same time. So these dudes encouraged us. They don't even know this shit I'm saying. And we know each other for years. They actually gave us the confidence to kind of take the path we were going on because we were trying to stay positive in the world that we viewed as negative. And we were trying to stay empowered in a world that was trying to knock us down in our mindset. And it was songs that they made that let us know that we're on the right path. But when they made Straight Out the Jungle, come on, man, let that rock.
Say what? Come on, Sam. Yeah. Educated man from the motherland. You see, they call me a star, but that's not what I am. I'm a jungle brother,
What?
a true blue brother. And I've been to many places you'll never discover. Step to my side, suckers run and hide. Africa's in the house, they get petrified. You wanna know why? I'll tell you why. Because they can't stand the sight of the jungle eye. They never fight a fuss, they never curse or cuss. They just stand on the side and stare at us. They get out of line, I put them on a vine and give them one big push for all mankind.
We're going to keep going, Rich Nice, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, please.
Okay, if that's okay. One of the things they did, too, and I always tell folks that when we were coming up, you know, the genre lines didn't necessarily exist. We sampled music from soul music from the 60s, from the 70s. Sometimes we dug deep. You might find something from the 50s. We didn't limit ourselves to just one kind of sound. You know, we always experimented coming up, and it wasn't frowned upon because of the way it was being done. A lot of people didn't realize the relationship between house music and hip-hop culture at the time. Right. You know, those house drums came from someplace deep. deeply rooted off the continent of Kibulan or Africa or however you want to call it. And these dudes were able to take those ingredients and make songs in that house genre. Wonder, you got something for me?
Check this out.
Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you.
You in my hut now.
My hut. Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. You in my hut now. When you're in my hut, you know what's up. Let your mind be free. Relax your body. Jump, jump. A little higher. Jump, jump until you get higher. House your body. House your body. House your body to the base. House it all over the place. Don't let nobody get in your way. Tonight's your night, today's your day. Africa won't steer you wrong.
Say what?
House music all night long.
Say what?
House music all night long.
Say what?
House music all night long.
Ladies and gentlemen, the JBs are here. The Jungle Brothers are here. The Jungle Brothers are here. Sway in the morning, 888-742-3345. The Jungle Brothers are here.
Yeah, yeah.
The Jungle Brothers are here.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Shade 45. Yeah. Jungle Brothers live. Yeah. Mike G, go, JB, go. Jungle Brother Africa, baby bam. Mike G, what we got? You know we got 5,000 booming watts. Sound system, state of the art. Travel lightly, close back neatly. Strapped with the baby bam, beat seat. Pull in early, do the sound check. I wanna get on, but the crowd ain't around yet. I scream out jungle, so you know that I'm here. I give a shout out to Smoking the Beers. Come on, it's almost time. It's almost time. It's almost time for Shade 45. Yeah, any minute now, any second now. Pay attention close. We're gonna show you how. Come on, everybody, let's gather round. Once again, we're gonna get on down. Give you something to go home and talk about. The odds were against us, but we came to turn it out. I heard you was long overdue. Who's coming through? Y'all know who. It's the JBs. What? 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 All over the world for the boys and girls. The JBs. What? The JBs. Who? 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 All over the world for all the boys and girls.
Jungle Brothers, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Mike G, what up, baby?
You Sway, baby.
Africa, what up, baby?
You Sway, what's good?
Come on, man.
Insane.
Yo, we was tripping, Heather, because I would see these dudes when I was on the West Coast more than and then I moved to New York 20 years ago, and we haven't even really seen each other.
And the space between us is ridiculous, right? Like blocks.
Yeah,
okay. So
don't,
now,
don't say.
Okay, I'm gonna say. Okay, so there's a block in Harlem. He lives on the further west, and I literally was born 5 blocks away.
Yeah, we're on the same block, but just Avs, so east-west.
Crazy.
And I didn't even know that. And I've been in that spot for about 5 years now.
Yeah, it's
you know,
crazy.
Fab Five Freddy's over there now.
I knew Fab was over there.
Yeah. It's a lot of like just some hip-hop legends walking around the streets, man. It's first of all, I just want to say, man, it's good to have y'all on the show.
Yeah.
Y'all mean a lot to me personally. Me and my partner King Tech, we supported your music. Like we needed artists like you in that whole native tongue movement to really kind of curate and build and mold and set the tone of what the world famous Wake Up Show has always been about. And it was always about living in a higher consciousness or striving for a higher consciousness, trying to live on a different frequency, listening to different chords. Always moving up, and I was always curious to when you guys first came together, what was it a plan or was that just what the environment was like? When did y'all first connect to make music and what was the environment like at that time?
Shucks, we connected, man, like 86, 87 in high school.
Okay.
I think it was organic because that's what the time called for. I mean, 86, 87, Heather know, that high school environment is crazy, fighting. was black on black. It was
Jams.
Yeah, it was jams. It was Puerto Ricans on blacks. I mean, it was everybody. It was a lot of tension, especially in the city. Coming from 88, coming from New York, having the first time out in L.A. It was like you feel the gang tension, but to me it was totally different. Where you could walk out your building, set it off, set it off on the way to the train station,
Right.
set it off in the train station, get off the train, set it off again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was real intense. You know what I mean? And I think when we got together, for me, it was a breath of fresh air because I had never really met anybody who was really like, I want to say laid back as me. Only children.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Love for hip hop, even though it's like I was a little more plugged in because I had Red there. But his love for it was like, I was like, damn, this dude sleeping in the next room or something like that. And I mean, we want to see better. We want to see better, and we had good people behind us, great parents, great uncles, great cousins, and we want to let people know about it.
What was the relationship with Q-Tip?
Oh, he went to high school with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where that started.
What was he like in high school? Were y'all making music at that time, or did you know he was that gifted? Or
at the time, he was rhyming more like LL Cool J.
Okay.
Because we was in the same grade together. We had the same homeroom together. But I didn't really connect with him until like the second year. 10th grade. And then we really started hanging when he graduated. And in the 11th year. So it was like, little by little, it was like drip feed. It was like, okay, you freestyling a little bit and you telling me, people say, you sound like LL Cool J. I'm like, you still got to come into your own, but I like what you're doing. That was when it was all the big vocabulary words, know, descendants of Kumo D, you know what I mean? Using the big vocabulary words going over your head was the way that, you showed you had skills, So I didn't see anything wrong with it. But then in 11th grade, he started bringing the demos in, a couple of demos, and it was starting to get more smoothed out and less like the LL Rock the Bell type of thing and more like the funk and soul vibe.
Okay. And that infusion, right?
Yeah, that infusion. And at that time, we was going into the studio to do Straight Out the Jungle. We had a couple of singles out and stuff like that. And so, like, towards the end of the album, I said, why don't you come to the studio, Because one of the demos he played me was Black is Black.
Okay.
Yeah, he played me that, and I was like, that's funky, That's cool. We could work with that. You should come to the studio and let's finish the verses. Get a mic a verse, get me a verse. We produced the track, organic.
Organic. Oh.
Out in Coney Island, Neptune Avenue.
Wow.
Down in the basement.
Tony Dick.
Whose basement was it?
Tony D. He was the guy who did.
Tony Dick.
That was his name, though. That's his real name. That's his name.
No, that was
the man.
He put out the record. He put out MC Search's first record, Hey Love.
Okay.
And he also had Veronica.
Okay.
With the female beatbox. Oh, Veronica. Oh, Veronica.
Tony D the man. Tony D the man.
Yeah. Todd Terry, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, Todd Terry.
That was the Todd Terry connect, too.
Okay.
Yep.
So it was Tony D and Oswald. By day, they was carpenters. So they was doing construction and all that. And by night, they was running the studio in the basement.
Now, Todd Terry, where was Todd Terry from?
Brooklyn.
He was from Brooklyn.
Todd Terry started making hip-hop beats, wasn't really getting no love like that. So then he bumped up the tempo, but he put the hip-hop samples in those records.
Okay.
So like bang, go bang, bang, go bang, go.
Bang. Okay.
He was sampling like hip-hop, but over those house records.
Dance records, yeah.
And that's how we saw that. That's how we saw that connection.
Great.
This is wild, because I didn't even know this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That people ask, I know, I'm gonna get back to the whole Q-tip thing. But people ask, like, how did y'all do this hip house thing?
Yeah.
What was the connection? You know what I mean? It's like Todd Terry was putting hip hop samples in those beats.
Yeah.
So the way we heard it with our ears was like, this is just a faster hip hop. Because Chubb Rock had 115 beats per minute. Big Daddy Kane had 117 with the Wrath Kane.
Right.
You go to the club and you see the IOU dancers going in on some fast tempo stuff. And as long as you can keep up with the flow, it's still hip hop.
So y'all were recorded in Brooklyn, but y'all were from Queens?
I'm from Brooklyn.
And Tip was going to high school in Brooklyn.
No.
Now we all went
the
to
high school is
Manhattan.
Murray Bertram.
Got it. Okay, that's where the confusion.
One
is.
Police Plaza.
Y'all were going
right by the Brooklyn Bridge.
Right by the bridge.
So that's where that was like the hub.
The meeting spot. Right.
Q-Tip's coming out from Queens. I'm coming out from Brooklyn.
And where you coming
He's
from?
coming out from Harlem.
But I was
Got
living in Queens for a little while too.
Okay.
Left Rack City.
Yep.
So it's like, and then I had another friend too. Funny story. This is a little backstory.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time I'm growing up, my father's like, "You got a cousin that looks just like you. You're gonna meet him one day."
Mm-hmm.
First day of high school, I walk through the door. He's a security guard right there.
Look like
The cousin?
My cousin.
And they look
This goes with this. It goes with this.
Wow.
And he
My
coming
my
from
cousin
Harlem.
is right there.
Wow.
He's been working
And
there
we used
for
to
I don't
take
know
the
how
train,
long
and I used
years.
to be like,
And he was coming from Harlem, right? Then I used to hang out at my grandmother's projects, Albany Projects,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a friend downstairs who was our first DJ, Brooklyn B. So as I'm walking up to the school, he's walking right beside me. He was already there 1 year before me, right? I get into school. I'm telling everybody in 10th grade, because I got a pair of turntables for getting good grades, that I'm going to make a record. Because I had already been taping Red Alert off the radio since I
Right.
was 12 years old. So I thought I had to do was make a tape. And that's a record. So when my pops got me the turntables and I got a little double cassette Radio Shack mic, I was like, I'm coming out next year with a record. Now that was in December of my second year in high school. I didn't even know he was in the building. We come back from Christmas vacation and they talking about there's a talent show at Murray Bertram. I go, I want to be in that talent show. I got somebody next to me who's in my classroom who was in X-Clan, Brother J.
Brother J.
And I'm like, I want to be in that talent show. And he's like, that's cool, but you're going to have to go check with so-and-so. I go check with so-and-so because there's 4 guys in the group. I want to be in that talent show. Can I get down? That's cool, but you got to check with so-and-so. Then I go to the third person. I want to be in that talent show. Can I get down? That's cool, but you got to go talk to this guy named Mike. Where's he at? He's right over there. He had the big black bubble goose on. He was in the classroom right across from me. I never forget the day I met him. I go over and I'm like, yo, I want to be in this talent show. Everybody say, I got to check with you. So he's like, all right, after class, we're going to be in that staircase over there. We're going to have a little jam session and see what we could do. So we go in there, the 4 of us. Brother Jay's on the beatbox.
Brother Jay's on the beatbox?
And going in.
Van Glorious?
When I say going in,
killing it.
going in.
Going in.
This
like-
is protected by the red, the black.
That Brother Jay. Before he was Brother Jay, that's when he was J Master J.
J Master J.
And we was telling, that's another story.
like Jam Master J, but okay.
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
We're going to get to that. So we do this whole freestyle thing or whatever. And everybody's like, oh, word, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. One by one, everybody dropped off, except Brother J and Mike G. And that's how we wound up being in the group together.
Wow, man. Damn it. I never even knew this. I thought I knew everything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But the whole thing with the Brother J, is we kept saying to him, yo, man, you can't call yourself J Master J.
Like, yo, it ain't gonna work.
So we won a prize in the talent show where we got to go to the Apollo to see Run-DMC.
Yep.
So we was on the tour bus. Brother J was beatboxing, and we was rhyming for the people on the tour bus. We get to the Apollo. They bring us downstairs to meet Run-DMC. Is nobody down there? It's just Jam Master J. I remember like yesterday. And he's sitting there profiling, cool as whatnot.
Chilling, you know how Jay was.
Chilling, laid back. That was the thing back in the day. If you was laid back, you was cool. Jay chilling, laid back with the hat on, jeans suit on. This around the Peter Piper time.
Okay.
And we didn't know we was gonna get that.
The Adidas.
Yeah, so Brother Jay, we all walk in. He said, hi, my name is Mike G. I was Shazam at the time. I'm Shazam. Brother Jay go, yeah, I'm J Master J.
Oh.
And
Yo, the face.
And
the
we-
face is classic. Jay was like,
and we kept telling him, you can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
oh man.
But we didn't even know Run-DMC at the time,
Yo,
so
the
we was
face
like,
is classic.
but you can't do that, right?
Wow.
And he was totally cool about it. He sat back, he said, you got that name because you heard mine. And we looked at each other and I said,
Yo.
and from that day on, I said, you are Brother J. I named him. I said, you are Brother J. That's you all day long anyway.
That was hilarious.
You my jungle brother, you Brother J.
Man, Mike
So
G.
that's how we got to Brother J.
That's how we got. Mike, show me the Jam Master J face. The smirky.
Oh, like the smirky.
Oh man, that was crazy.
How did you get Africa Baby Bam? How did you get that name?
Just a tribute.
Okay.
It was a tribute thing. It was like I felt like even though I was growing up in that time.
When he first met Bam.
Okay.
What was it? Was it Latin Quarters? I think it was Bronx River.
Nah.
Where was it?
Nah, this is all again. Remember I tell you the story about my cousin, right? In that high school, right?
Yeah.
You saw how everything added up, right?
Yeah.
You saw how he was in the building for 2 years.
You gotta go see him if you want to be in a talent show,
but
right?
I'm telling people I'm gonna make a record
next year,
and not knowing he's in the building,
right?
And his uncle's Red Alert.
It was my first
and
year,
I'm taping his
though.
uncle off the radio.
And you didn't know he was even in
I didn't even know he was in the building.
So Mike G was kind of the man because Red Alert was his uncle?
Yeah, but he was
But not a lot of people didn't even know.
They didn't even know.
I kept it on the low.
Sway. And I'm talking. My commute to that high school was almost an hour. I'm the only dude in that building besides Tip that's damn near in the 2 Fair zone.
That's
What's
real
a 2
rap.
Fair zone?
Everybody else is coming in from Manhattan,
Right.
Harlem, Bronx.
Right.
I'm going in. They all know each other from the hood. They don't even know where I'm from or where I'm at.
Right.
I'm taping the radio in 1982. It's his uncle.
Wow.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So a lot of things I was projecting out
Put
there.
in the universe, yeah.
You know, I was putting that out there. That's why, they make all those books about that now, but I lived that. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So when it got to, what was your question with Brother Jay?
But no, how'd you get your name?
Your name.
Oh, when it got to my name, I was in the zone of like, yo, we the next generation. And the reason why I felt like I could, when I heard Sucker MC, I was like, I could do that. But I was like, I want to do something more creative than that, because that was like the brag and boast thing. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. When I heard Planet Rock, I heard all this social stuff in it. You know, like I heard like they mixing the fun and the party stuff, but with like socially conscious messages and stuff like that too. And the whole electronic thing was like, oh, that's progressive. You made a hybrid basically. You know what I mean? Because New York at the time, the music was eclectic. You could have electro, you could have funk, you could have reggae, and it could be all mixed together on a mixtape. So I was like, you know what? I got a responsibility here, because that first generation, the next one after us, they're not going to know them. It's just going to keep moving. And I was like, yo, we got to pass the torch. We got to let people, if you look at them straight out the jungle, who we thinking on here is Cold Crush Brothers, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, Run-DMC, Red Alert, Awesome 2, Red Parrot, Bentley's, clubs like that. So I was like, we was all about let's capture and curate what is happening right now before the next city gets built on top of that.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm going to be Africa Baby Bam. You know what I'm saying? To show that this is the first cultural organization where hip-hop came from, and that's what's establishing this thing so that it doesn't become some fly-by-night trendy thing that the industry just rinse and make another gimmick or novelty record out of, because there were those records. Yeah. And we wouldn't have survived that long if we just lived off of the rapping Duke Daha Daha. It has just been in, out, chicken commercial, in, out, and nobody would have understood that there's record collections, there's certain break beats, there's certain DJs that's bringing these parties, that's creating this scene to make it something. There's the Rock Steady crew, you know what I mean? And it's rapping, it's talking, but dudes is holding it down. Like they putting flags in the ground right now. And you got to know that that's going to be your platform to stand on. And you got to know who built that. Yeah. Because if they was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It would be gone. Rocksteady crew was gone.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
But Crazy Legs brought it back. Back then, dudes was like, okay, we done with the breakdancing.
Yeah.
When people graduated high school, I read stories. They were like, we done with the hip hop stuff. We trying to go down to Bentley's now and get on our R&B.
And that was in the 80s.
You know, what's the dude, the graffiti artist, Phase One?
Yeah.
I remember him telling me, he's like, man, we was in Roxy's all the time, man. By what did he say? By 80? By 80. No, by 79. He said hip hop was over for me. I was done. And then Sucker MCs came out and he was like, uh-oh. And that's what was happening. You had these cycles where it was like, boom. And then it was like, okay, it's played out. And then somebody released another record like Sucker MCs, boom. It's like, no, it's not. You know what I'm saying? And we was a part of that transition where it was like, somebody's going to keep knocking somebody over the head with these records, and we need to tell where it comes from.
Wow. Jungle Brothers, ladies and gentlemen. Who are some of those artists that are out today, more contemporary artists, that you think bring that boom factor, that like the newer artists that are keeping it above ground?
I was saying this earlier. J. Cole. J. Cole's probably my favorite, and Kendrick, probably my top two in the contemporary right now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're killing it.
They're bringing that boom effect.
Yeah. Tight lyrics, imagination, spirit, real hip hop spirit, community spirit.
Community spirit.
Word.
That's the main thing.
Community spirit. Let me ask you this then, because one of the things I liked about y'all too, because you couldn't really pigeonhole the Jungle Brothers. Yeah. You couldn't pigeonhole you with sound. You couldn't pigeonhole you with image, and just your approach with messaging. You couldn't pigeonhole it.
Yeah.
Now we have conversations about the younger artists who are making different styles of music, but it is their style. It's of their generation, even though some of us may not be able to relate to it. But that's the same shit they said about Jungle Brothers.
No doubt.
I look at the same thing. I don't.
Without question.
I don't get in no generational beef.
Yeah.
Because it's like I could go back in my 15-year-old head and remember exactly what I was thinking as far as I want to use this and innovate. I'm hearing the Cold Crush Brother mixtapes the same way DMC was, and I'm going, let me put my spin on it.
Yeah.
And that's what I see them doing today.
Putting their spin on it.
Yeah, they putting their spin on it. I don't agree so much with the lifestyle. But I see that beat maker dude on that machine flipping some processed sounds.
Yeah.
And then I hear they experiment a little bit with the vernacular. You know what I'm saying? I hear all of that. That's got to happen because that's just innovation, how things move on. I hear that with Kendrick Lamar as well. I hear triplets. I hear 6/8 rhythms. I hear African rhythms in his rhymes. Deliberate. I hear text. I look it up. I look at it. I go, he got an uncle telling him what was going on from our generation. Plus, he got his peer group informing him from his generation, and he's putting the two together. That's what I was doing. That's what we was doing.
Y'all got a song on a new project. We're going to get into that in a second. I want to ask you about. But Heather B, you had a question?
I did, because I'm curious. Running around with Chris at the time for me,
that would be
shows.
KRS-One. We'll get it on production.
Yeah.
Well, running around with Chris at the time and doing shows with y'all and La and De La and Tribe and everything like that. Would you say then the competition was much more healthier because everybody was doing these shows. Everybody knew everybody's records. I remember being on stage and being on the side of the stages and seeing everybody watching each other's shows where you don't see that a lot now with artists. They don't study each other's shows. But I feel then there was a time where we sort of, you felt that it was some kind of competition, but it was all support too at the same time. Am I wrong?
Without question, the showmanship. Somebody was talking about that last night. It's like the showmanship and the energy of the younger artists. It's not like the same kind of love. Like if KRS went on, and you may not kill it like KRS, you still gonna get up there and do the best show you can to make sure the people was happy. Where you don't really see that nowadays. I don't feel it anyway.
You don't feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He weighed in on that properly. Yeah, it's the show aspect. But I was even going to talk about the money aspect of it too.
Talk about it.
Well, because it's like, there's our generation was calling it the culture, and then it evolved into the game.
Right.
And people don't make the distinction between the two. The culture comes from the community. This is not a game. We working together. We communicating together. You do a show, I check you out. You come off and you go, did I smash it? And I'm like, yeah, just do this part, that part.
Very true. Very true.
So we all coming up together. You know what I mean? It's like, a pat on the back. Yeah, okay, Bam, you was all right, but what you need to do is like turn your mic up a little bit. You know, you get pointers from each other and stuff like that.
Stop cuffing the mic.
Stop cuffing the mic.
Yep.
That's
Don't turn your back to the
Don't
audience.
turn your back to the crowd.
then you drop money in the water and it becomes a game. You know, I remember that. I remember when that first started. Who you getting signed? You got signed, and then it went further to like a uniform. Like, put the baseball cap on that guy, put the car there, put the stripper there. Next, put the baseball cap on that guy, put the car there, put the stripper there. Next, and it became a game, corporate game, because it was like we need to commodify this and make it one thing. And when that check came in the water, that's where the competition was. That's where it was like, oh, I'm fighting you to get this money, but you're not doing your show.
Facts.
Because the person cutting the check ain't asking for the show. You never got to come up through a showtime at the Apollo and get booed off stage. You never have to come up in front of your peers. Never. You just going in the building, put the hat on, say that you could say B and N and get the check. And then the fans go, he's moving up. He's winning the game. That's how you do it. You know? And then artists started saying, nobody else got a problem with me because I got money.
Yeah.
Heather wouldn't have came at me like that if I messed up a show. I couldn't tell her, oh, but Heather, yo, I just got 20 grand for doing one song. She's like, but your show was whack.
Yeah, don't matter.
Fix yourself up, young man.
Real talk.
Don't represent me
Might
like
be your
that.
last 20.
Because we represent in the community. You representing each other.
Yeah. No,
You know, when
represent.
you throw a jam and you get your name put on the flyer and you come up, you got to keep the energy level up. Otherwise, they get Melly Mel used to tell me, don't ever pass somebody your mic.
Facts.
Hold your mic down. I used to watch Melly Mel and Busy B in the DJ booth for Red Alert at Latin Quarters, sitting on the crates, studying.
Wow.
Before I got a chance to do what they do, I was studying them. In the game,
Ain't no study.
Ain't no studying.
You just get put in position. We was having this conversation about, I was actually saluting Paul Rosenberg, who run his station, because he's one of those people who come from the culture, but got in this position of power. But what he cares about most is that, can they rap? You know, can they spit? You know, what that song sound like? And that's hard to balance that when you in that position. Yeah. And he's one of those folks that was able to do it, you know, and that's why I think it's so important that the right people get in the right positions. Rich Nice, somebody who came from the culture and then became a member of one of the most successful production collectives with Trackmasters, right? And still to this day stays dedicated to the culture. That's why all I did is text Rich last night, Jungle Brothers tomorrow. Rich ain't getting up to come down here unless he has to. But he got up here and came down. Why, Rich?
Hey, man. JB's is in the building.
Get the JB.
JB's is in the building. You know, I think you guys don't get enough credit for the influences that you've bestowed in hip-hop. It's everyone from obviously Tribe Called Quest, but all the way to a Pharrell. People don't realize that Chris Lighty, God bless the dead, is a Jungle Brother, and his influence, and from being around you guys and witnessing and traveling the world with you guys. On the creative side, as far as the production, because all of these records, I can put the record on and let it run. You see, I brought the album with me. You can put it on from the beginning and let it run to the end. Right. You can't really do that these days anymore as much as you used to. Right. On the production side, what was it like making these records, even to the Forces of Nature project? Because I hear even Pharrell grab elements of these albums and recreate them again.
Yeah, for Nori's record, he grabbed JB's Coming Through.
Yeah. So what's that like? What was the production mood like in the rooms when you guys was doing it?
It goes back to the 2 turntables. This album was made with 2 turntables. Wow. Not a sampler, not a drum machine, 2 turntables. So when I said I met this man,
a 16 track.
Yeah, and a 16 track.
Word up.
So, for instance, Straight Out the Jungle. The record that I used for Straight Out the Jungle, the 2 records I used for Straight Out the Jungle, that was from my dad's collection. Wow. I had the beat on one turntable and the bass line on the other turntable. And this is at home before I met him and before we got in the studio and I could multi-track. And I would literally for 8 bars, let the 2, I would beat match and blend them. I couldn't loop anything. I had to make a little pause tape out of it and then sit down and write straight out the jungle.
Wow.
And that went on for that was like every day after school for like 2-3 months. And then I met him and we did the talent show. And then I met his Red Alert. And then I was like, damn, when we gonna get in the studio? Because I want to put these 2 things together. That's pretty much the process of the whole album.
Okay. Rich touched on the music real quick. If somebody looked at you right now and was like, oh, he just found that style or whatever, but I look and say, y'all been dressing like that. You know, how did that come? Because Rich touched on the style of music, but what about the style of clothing where you see guys now wearing the same jackets that y'all?
It's crazy. I try to tell people it's crazy. Like when I'm in Europe, I'm like, dude, this hip hop culture, what we did when we was teenagers, it's all over the world.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And I'm not taking nothing from Germany and Spain and France and Portugal and Stockholm, Sweden, but I don't see nothing that the adolescence of those countries spread around the world. You got this on your back.
Yeah.
We was the jungle brothers.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was I ran in my dad's closet and got his medallions. I ran down to the military store and got the camouflage before cats was even up on it.
Yeah. That was the old hustler gear.
Right.
That was what the hustlers was wearing.
Yeah.
Whatever they used to do to stay on the block for 24/7, that's what we needed because we in the jungle. We
in the jungle. We out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned. They saw us on the covers with it. They saw us in the videos with it. Then it was like, oh man, the bucket hat. I want to rock that, yo. And then clothing lines came in and was like, do that motif.
Yep.
And not give credit. Do that motif and not give credit to where they got it from.
Right.
Like billions of dollars.
Right.
And a bunch of kids looking like you, Africa.
Right.
Or Mike G.
Right. All over the world.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing, and I mean that's just one part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember dudes was like, "Yo, them Timbs is hot." You know what I mean? Remember back in the next summer, I'm rocking my Timberlands in the summer with shorts on. I was like, "Oh, that's hot. That's hot."
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, "Why is that? That's ill. That's a big deal. Like that's how deep this thing goes." You know, that's how deep it. I remember when L was like flipping one leg up, one pants leg. I was like, it's a code. That's how deep it goes because it's like you do that and everybody's like, I'm on it, because you're a part of that community.
Jungle
it's not
Brothers.
A game yet.
It's not a game.
It's a culture.
When do you think it became a game? What year would you say?
I would say it was the 90s when the majors started coming in and signing up everybody. They signed up Coachella Records. They signed up Jungle Brothers, $1.5 million deal. They signed up. They gave KRS a label deal. Russell started giving out label deals and stuff like that. That kind of put the mindset in the water of like A&R is important.
Yeah.
Budgets are important. You know, it's not about just the jam anymore.
It's corporate.
It's getting a little corporate. You know what I mean?
Release schedules.
Release schedules. You saw what?
Release schedules controlled hip hop.
Or even records getting pulled off the shelf for the sample clearances.
Don't go against
like
that.
Bismarcky.
Yeah, and we had De La on recently. They couldn't even celebrate their first album because because of sample clearance issues that they had. And labels weren't willing to clear some of those samples.
Right.
At that time, Tracy.
Two things, and I love this conversation. Going back to what Heather was talking about, how, years ago it was more embraced, this mantra of collaboration camaraderie over competition, I should say, and how it impacts people's stage presence. So when that cash dropped into the water, to put your words, did you guys have any peers where the relationship surprised you that it became dented because how the business shifted?
Did it have what? What was the question again?
Did you guys have any peers where you were surprised to see y'all relationships shift because of the way the business changed?
Yeah. That's you going deep right now.
Deep in the water.
Deep because
who the money changed?
It's not so much the money. It's just the priority change. You know, we family. So I'm not trying to start no drama.
No drama.
But I remember when Ali Shahi Mom was like, "Yo, this is a business, man." He said it so laid back. This is a business, and I was just like, I was in two minds with that because it was like, we got a flow that's going on that's even creating the interest from the business. So this organic thing could just keep going the way it's going. the business will come as, dude, we was on stage doing Girl Our House, we one song for $10,000.
Oh, snap.
We used to do shows like
Hey,
that
what year was
Wednesday
that?
to Sunday, 4 or 5 shows
89.
a night.
As soon as that joint came out, it was crazy.
That's
Nice.
business.
Yeah.
You know, Monday morning, I'm in my room ironing my ones because they all sweaty.
Oh wow.
And I'm calling Mike, and I'm like, yeah, the count's hit. You know in the movies, the gangster movies, when they drop the stack,
Right.
and they pick it up and go like this, and they like, yeah, it's all there. Chris Lighty used to hand the
That
stacks
was Baby Chris, for real.
like that. And I just by grabbing it, I could be like, that's 10. Okay, that's 5. Then I get home and I iron the money to dry it off, open up the safe, 39.92.57, and I call Mike on the count and I say, it was 5. Yep, it was 5. Okay. Put 4,900 in the safe and 100 in your pocket for pocket money and hit the streets. That's business.
Mm-hmm.
The issue that I have is when you start feeling relationships move away. It's like, why are you not calling? Why are we not hanging out? Why are we not collaborating? Why are we not doing what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why what's going on? Like, I got $100,000 in the safe too. Can we go get some Chinese food and like build or like bounce off of each other? It's like the schedule became the main agenda, you know? And then in those offices, it was like, look, I don't know about you guys, but you're my priority.
Yeah. Let me
You
ask
know
you
what I'm
this.
saying?
Yeah.
And you feel that.
Right.
You feel that.
Let me ask you this, because I was a big fan of the Native Tongues Collective. How did that start? Or was that just
Organic.
it wasn't even
So
like
Q-Tip was in high school, so
Okay.
it was already set. Q-Tip was there, Mike was there. We started going to the studio. Then we did it. I remember Red Alert gave me a demo of a cassette of plug tuning. Because we used to have listening sessions sometimes, and he'd be like, "Tell me what you think of that record." And it was an honor to have him ask me that, because it's like, dude, I've taped you off the radio. So he gave me the it was a clear cassette with the blue labeling on it, De La Soul plug tuner. And the first thing I said was, this is a Spanish hip hop group. Okay, let's check this out. And I put it in, and it was in English, and it had the midnight theme break beat on it. And I was like, oh, they know what's up. Because, you know, break beats was the thing back in the day. The Octopus breaks, Ultimate breaks. So it's like, that's the tools of the jam. So I heard that, and I was like, okay. So then we did a show with them in Boston, and I was already, like, prepped. And then I watched the show, and I was like, dude, it's like we one happy family on stage. That's like, you just like, we another version of each other.
Yeah.
So I called up Q-Tip, because it was in Boston. I called up Q-Tip. I think I had a cell phone that time. And I was like coming in, and I was like, yo, really quick, we just did this show with De La Soul. You got to meet these guys. You're going to love them like family. They're just on the same vibe we on. And we met in this, I don't know exactly where I introduced them. I don't know if it was in the street, studio, or club or whatever, but they hit it right off. That's how he wound up doing Me, Myself, and I, which is patterned after Black is Black.
Wow. Damn.
So that was the little introduction. But then by the time we got to Buddy, when Prince Paul and Mace was like, yo, can y'all come in and do a record, Buddy? Features weren't normal back then. So I was like, what? We gonna do a record together? How's this gonna go? Because usually you in the living room just cutting up stuff and stuff come out. You know, like we got to just go straight to the studio and write it there. So it came out hot though.
No doubt.
You know, and again, that was when people saw that video, that's what associated. That's when the public
became a collective.
That's when it became a collective.
Okay.
Dancing on the dance floor. Girl, it's shit that I adore. Step off stage, just scream for more. Native tongue got rhymes galore. Snap my fingers, make you mine. If not, I'll snap a second time. After that, I guarantee you will be standing next to me. Fly buddy. Go.
Yes.
So then right after that, in the studio, Q-Tip was like, we need a name for the collective. Because people starting to, I was the guy they would come to for names.
So associate everybody. Okay.
Yeah. And he said the word native, and I was like, And I said tongue because we all speak in our own language. We always should say that. We got these inside jokes. We got coded words. We got our own slang. We speak in our own tongue. Native tongues.
Jungle Brothers here, ladies and gentlemen. Get this game. We dropping gems. Leroy's on the line from Iowa. What up, Leroy?
Hey, how y'all doing, man? How y'all doing?
Doing great, man.
Man, I know there's so many people want to talk, but I came back from Korea, and I heard a Red Alert tape, and damn near the whole collective was on it, and I lost my mind. But what I wanted to know, you said you looked through your uncle's crate. I'm 60-plus old. Was any of you records in your uncle's crate called The Last Poets?
Of course.
Of course.
And in my dad's crates. Of course.
You can walk through Harlem and still see them out there at that
exactly.
time.
Yeah. All right. I felt that my uncle used to listen to Last Poets. I went to Korea. I went in the military, lost, and I came back and, I'm listening to Gil Scott-Heron and whatnot. Then I heard that, like I said, I heard this tape as first my first thing to hip hop, and it brought me back to The Last Poet. And now, you know what? Damn, this don't come full circle, man.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but a blessing. God bless y'all for keeping this culture alive. This is what keeps me getting up in the
Thank you.
I'm glad you got Sirius XM, Leroy. You wouldn't have had this moment. All right, Shade 45, baby. All right, Pete, what up? Pete in North Carolina.
Yeah, good morning. What's up, Sway and everybody?
Got the Jungle Brothers in here, man.
JB, man. I caught some of it, but I had to give it a shot. Call in, man. The JB changed my whole style, babe. I started wearing dreads. I started rocking the bucket hat. Went down to Banana Republic, got the vest on 59th Street.
No doubt.
From Harlem, kid. That's when Banana Republic was rocking the safari outfits. Now they, rock the other style.
Crazy. We used to clean them out.
They took the whole style Banana Republic.
It's on the cover.
It's right there.
That's JB, man, coming through, man. I just want to say thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Well, check it out. They got a new album, Keep It Jungle, coming out in August, right? Is it coming out in August?
September.
20th of September. 20th of September.
Yep. 20th September 20th?
Yep.
Okay. I want to play some of the new music too. I'm gonna play Okay. But I've heard a few other ones too, man. I heard Red Cup. I was gonna ask you about what was that about Red Cup?
You got time for that? Or we gonna play some music first?
Okay, we come back. We're gonna play and then we're gonna talk about Red Cup. You wanna talk with the Jungle Brothers? Call us. Sway in the morning, Shade 45. Jungle Brothers are here. Mike G is here. Bam is here. Africa Baby Bam is here.
Word.
They got legendary music, a legendary journey, and it ain't even halftime for them.
No.
It's not even halftime for them. You guys are, even whether you did projects solo or you or as a crew, you guys never stop making music and continue to do so. That song is called It's out now. You have another song called Red Cup that I got a chance to listen to. One of the lines on it, he said something about socialize your digital photo and got lost like Toto.
Oh, I saw your future in the photo. My dog is lost like Toto.
What does that mean?
I tried to make it a broad meaning because it's like I look at today's generation, like the current events of today's generation.
Okay.
Social media out.
And it's like you OD on social media, but I also saw like when Lil Wayne pushed it into like that punk rock mode.
Yeah.
And then America was like, oh, let's rebrand Europe dance music to EDM. And that culture was like all about taking ecstasy and all of these type of drugs and stuff like that. And I saw that started to infiltrate with the cloud rappers, the hip, the new cat.
SoundCloud guys.
Yeah. And I was like, and then now they overdoing like the 60s rock stars. And it just hit me like the same way when Biggie died and Pac died. I was like, you having so much fun and building up fans and then you overdose on drugs. It's like, so one day I was cleaning up the house listening to Marvin Gaye. And I just started freestyling to Marvin Gaye, and that's how Red Cup came out. And it was just like from the heart. I was like, it looks like this generation is like going crazy on the gram, living a lifestyle like these, like, you know, crash and burn rock stars.
Mm-hmm.
And then they leave this world with all this material and all this music, and it's like a lost cause. So that's why I was like, you know, when Dorothy was like, "Where's Toto?" She was in Oz, like lost, like, I want to go home. Where's Toto's gone? Like, you know, it's like, so I kind of made that association. You know how when rappers write, we make associations with different things.
Yeah.
So like, there's lyrics on there about, basically it's about a dude coming from the old school that was hustling on the street, gets locked up, comes out, jumps on the gram to try to catch up, starts living that life, you know, the lean and all that to keep up with the times, trolling,
old guy trolling and standing.
and he comes back to the hood and he sees condos and public housing. That's what I said in there, you know, the gentrification and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a different world.
Yeah.
He can't handle it, and he overdoses.
Red Cup.
That's Red Cup.
Yeah, Red Cup, Keep It Jungle, coming out September 20th.
September 20th.
All right, Jungle Brothers, the legendary. The JBs are here.
Rich Nice.
Rich Nice hanging out. Sterling is in Portland. Sterling, you got a question? Sterling, yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
go for it.
Hey, how you doing? How y'all doing, man? I just wanted to say, man, Jungle Brothers, thank y'all, man. When I was growing up, me and my brother, man, he used to play on tapes like all the time, man. Like, Native Tongues was real influential in our lives, man. It built a lot of our confidence, man. Just the style, you know, the hooks and everything, man. It was. We grew up in Baltimore, man, and we was like, we was out there trying to rock New York style and everything. It was just like, we used to get clown for that, man, and everything. But it was just the confidence that we had, man. Was always dropping off. We put the tape in our radio, and we would just go off and everything. And we would just blast the music, and it was like, you know, everybody, let's shut that stuff down. Let's New York. And it's like, nah, bro, listen to the music. And then, like, maybe a couple years later, everybody started listening to y'all. Like, especially when Buddy dropped, and everybody was on it. And it was like, dude, we've been doing that. We was doing that the whole time for like almost 2 years, bro. What you talking about, man? It's like, what's up, man?
He knows what's up. Hey, Sterling, they got new music now, though, man. You got to support that like you supported the first music, okay?
I'm with that, man. I just heard it, man. It's still hot, man. Y'all still dropping tracks and knowledge and lyrics, man. It's what's up, man. It made me feel. I felt like I was like 14 to get just listening to this interview, man. It was really cool, man. Like, god dang, man.
All right. Sterling, you're a citizen, man.
Sway in the morning, homie.
So I want to put this energy out in the universe, man, and I'm sure Sway will be in support of it. How can we get a Native Tongue reunion with everybody? I'm saying everybody.
That's crazy. Well, we got a show in D.C.
Yeah, D.C.
on the 18th.
Yeah, July 18th.
Of July.
So the ball is rolling. Cass is trying. Got
Right.
us.
It's a festival.
Yeah.
Right. So
Money
it's got-
Love.
You get Queen Latifah?
But I mean more with the Sway, more connected with the show and with Sway. Like, how can we get?
Oh, like an interview thing?
How can we?
I mean, like
it's just a phone call for him.
In this room? In this room?
In this room
You
that
know
may
what it is.
even transmit to a stage, maybe.
That's all I got to do is?
He know all he got to do is make a call. Maybe 2 or 3, but
Get the
he can make that thing work.
Okay.
He got the database.
Okay.
And he got the community cred.
Okay. Okay, shit.
Because
Well,
when I see, I be in England. I click on YouTube and see the two of y'all. And I'm like, that's my family. Like, I see the Shade 45 in the back, and I see that connection. But I'm like, but I remember them like it was yesterday. Like,
yeah.
What was that? What was that one in L.A.? Water the bush.
Oh, Water the bush.
Yeah.
Africa Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
Wow.
Latin quarters.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, is that them?
I love it. I listened to y'all when I'm at home. The other day, y'all was in Minneapolis.
Yeah, Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, that was right.
You heard
I
Big
love that.
Horse? We had Big Horse.
Oh, listen.
Big Horse was there.
I couldn't stop laughing after hearing all the mimosas you was drinking. Yo, Yo, so I'm pushing my wife's car. I'm driving around checking things out, and man, I didn't even want to get out the car, man. Yo, I love listening. I don't get to listen every morning, but when I do listen, man, I love it.
Well, man, we appreciate that, man. Y'all we got to work on that then.
You're still holding it down. Come on,
man. Thank you, family. But hey, this is not mine. It's ours. So my whole question. This is ours. Yes, this include that, and this include the young artists as well.
Exactly.
I don't.
Word.
People say I got soft because I don't. Back in the Wake Up Show days, if you came up on the show and your bars wasn't up to par,
right,
I'll make you go again until you got it right.
Right.
But my role has changed in my mind, in my heart.
No doubt.
I'll let you know what I think, but I'm not gonna block your opportunity,
right,
to shine.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a shot. Come on, and then Heather let you know directly.
Right.
No doubt, I feel that.
Well, we were talking about some of the younger artists. We were in Minneapolis for Soundset. A lot of younger artists coming up and doing their thing, and that's why I want to shout out YBN Corday.
Yes,
he waited backstage. So after Black Star, Mos Def, and Talib Kweli got off stage, he waited back there with his phone in his hand and was like, "Yo, I know y'all wouldn't think that I know who y'all are, but I know y'all. Can I please get a picture?" OQ was there with me. Said, "Can I please get a picture? I'm a fan. I know y'all music. I studied y'all music." And so sometimes it's a responsibility as well to help them appreciate the culture.
Without question. Each one teach one, baby.
We all were ignorant.
I mean, because I appreciate what they doing. I'm studying it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm studying Tyler the Creator. I'm studying.
Yes. He got a #1 album.
Yeah.
Wow.
First one.
Yeah.
I study the little Uzi Verts and the Playboy Cardis and I try to get in that spirit.
Yeah.
And say what you doing? Let me see what you're doing.
We were that age once. Like if people didn't understand what we were doing.
Yeah. But I do remember when they didn't understand, they didn't give us chances. They would shut doors.
Yes.
Right.
So I promised myself, because King Tech and I started as artists, right? And we had a lot of radio shows, a lot of radio stations, a lot of record companies, a lot of publications that said, "Nah, no, we not into it. You don't sound like you from Oakland. He don't sound like he's from the Bay." All that. So we promised when we got in a position of power that we would not do what those people did to us.
Absolutely.
And so anybody, that's why I keep an open door. Unless you just so ignorant and disrespectful. You don't have to be a young artist to be that, but but that's why I keep these doors open. And it'd be love to see a YBN Corday hook up with a Jungle Brothers or a Black Star or Buddy, who stayed the whole. Buddy performed like third on a stage. Like at 1:30, he stayed until Wayne got off, hanging out, just wanting to meet people. Even Lil Nas X was like hanging around, like, "Oh my gosh, man, good to meet you, man." It's a lot of these younger artists that feel the same way we feel.
Oh wow, let's link that up then.
Okay,
let's link that up.
We connected.
I want that native joint though. I want
to see that one. You want to see that one?
But I want some of these cats involved with that.
Absolutely. And wouldn't that be something? Because it's all
Tyler
compatible.
the Creator, Lil Nas, all them cats.
Yeah, man. It's all.
Let's jam.
Okay, so we got to start with Q-Tip.
Get him.
Let's see if we could get tips.
As soon as one of us see him in the street, just
tie me up. I love Q-Tip, man.
Ass up.
Yeah, man. He's so important to the van. Also important.
Yo, Smoke, bring up the van, kid.
Bring up the van. Man, look, we Lord Sirius up next, but man, I want to thank y'all for coming through this morning.
Thank you for having
us. I hope y'all enjoy being up here, man. This is your home. So when you watching these videos, know that you could be anytime y'all want. This is your home.
Oh, thank you.